Well, good evening. This was a bit of a rush job because I was at my dinner and I came back, and this is one of the first matches that's been set in the Virtual Pool 4 Black Ball World Championship, and it's a race to 13, and Zangetsu, who is somebody I've never seen before, quite clearly he's well suited to this game because he's now 6-0 up against Tornado Tam from Scotland, and because I've got the chat overlay, I can't see where Zangetsu's from. Just give me a minute. South Africa, according to the flag. So he's clearly well suited to this game. Tam never plays black ball. He only ever plays cowboy or the carom games. So this is an alien table for him. But he'll be just looking to break his duck. Now, Kunal Gamer, are you asking me where I'm from? Yeah, well, Tam is up against it. 7-0 down. One thing I found out with this game, and I don't play it either, but I played a couple of racks of it yesterday, is you've got to be really gentle. The touch has got to be a lot softer than what you're used to in the bigger 10-foot table when we play cowboy. And that takes a little bit getting used to. Which doesn't really help you when you come up against somebody who's a lot more suited to the table and had loads of table time. And of course, black ball, you've got to get a ball to a rail, although it's like a British pub game, as they call it, or on what would be called a bar table in the States, but this table is a lot different from a bar table in the States. The pockets are a lot tighter, and they're curved more like a snooker table. And it's only a 7-foot table as well. Well, I think he could have put a wee bit more effort into designing the table, yeah. But it certainly does take getting used to. See, I just think that you have to be a lot more gentle than you think, and you have to play a lot of little soft draw shots, little soft screw shots as we call it in the UK. But everything must be a lot more gentle than you actually think. You're so used to hitting a more heavier shot in any of the other rotation games, or any other game for that matter, and with this being a smaller table, the lighter balls, it takes a bit of getting used to. Good evening to Larry. Yeah, strange reactions on the balls in this table. Well, Tam, again, you've got to get them right on line on this table, and the bad news is he's left everything on for Zangetsu, who I would fully expect to just run out. Problem for Tam is that although that yellow's hanging over the pocket, his best chance of winning a rack there has just gone because he landed on the 8-ball. And he won't get another shot. Or at least he shouldn't do. Now the problem will be whether Zangetsu is good enough to get good on that last red ball up table. Well, I think it's actually it's opposite to what you said, Lost Soldier. Players that are used to playing on the 9-ball table would find that everything feels a lot lighter in this game. And you don't need to put as much effort into playing a shot on this table as you do in the pool table. Well, it's a good clearance again there from Zangetsu, and Tam is heading for a horrible finish here if he can't get himself off the mark. Yeah, it's a lighter ball, but even so, the action that you put on that cue ball has to be a lot less than you think. You've got to get a more what's the word? A more delicate touch with certain shots. Good evening to LS3. I was at my dinner when you sent me that message, and then it took me long enough to get the stream up and running. But I don't think we missed much in the first 5 or 6 racks. Tam's going about it the wrong way. He's a bit too heavy-handed with some of his shots I've seen him play. You just got to sometimes, especially if you're hitting it down the rail, you've got to get it tight to that rail. And now Tam's problem's starting again. He's doing all the hard work. This is what happens in this game. This is what generally happens in a lot of 8-ball games. You do all the hard work and then you can't get the job done, and then all that happens now is you're locked up for the next 10 minutes while your opponent clears their balls. Good evening to Hog, or good afternoon. No, it is good evening. It's 20 past 6 here. I've just realised it's a week the day the Masters start, isn't it? Masters Golf, that is. Tiger might be in it. At least I saw he's listing the players' names on the Masters website this morning. Well, it's not looking good for Tornado Tam. He's pretty well exposed here. And the only saving grace he has is that 8-ball is the blocking ball in the top left there for that last red ball. And the best that Zangetsu can get from that is probably a bank. Now he could have a go at it just now and then try and leave Tam hooked on that yellow if he misses the bank. But the other way to look at it is if he banks it right enough, that corner pocket in the top left there's a big pocket with that 8-ball there. Well, he's played the blocking shot, but Tam needs to be careful here because he doesn't want to go slamming this yellow ball and moving that red in the rail, and he gave it a slam. He might even flick it. Well, Zangetsu now has an opportunity where he could stun down. Let me see if my little doodle's working, because I'm not using broadcaster tonight. But he could stun down and stun into that red. I think he's gone too far. I think he's too straight on this red into the middle pocket. So this is Tam's best chance of winning a rack here. Zangetsu should probably had a go at the bank on that red ball, because if he misses the bank, that pocket's huge with the 8 ball being there. And this is not the best way to do it, because he's going to do a straight draw onto the red, because he's dead straight anyway. No, and he's missed it. He's missed the line, but he's got the top side. I presume that's what he wanted to play at the end of the day. Pressure shot down the rail. Good evening to Wit. I don't think that's got the legs. Well, Tam, you can only make a hash of this if you can't get off the mark here. So there's some matches already arranged in the bracket. So say this, I got no notice of when these guys were going to play. I had already made the decision to go and get my dinner, and I had a message to let me know that these guys were playing, but it took me long enough to get my stream set up. I still had to do that. So, quick look at the bracket. If we go down the bracket, we'll see that there's another 3 matches arranged. We've got LS3 and Semi-Pro arranged for Saturday night, I think at 7 o'clock. And I think the next one is Cheeky Chico and Quagmire on Sunday at 8 o'clock. And then there's this match that's on just now. And that's about it as far as the bracket goes. But this match won't be around much longer, I don't think. Of course, you get into situations like this where that 8 ball is locked up between the red and the yellow in the bottom left hand corner. And that's a danger, because that, I don't think it's set, but the danger is that if anybody hits that yellow ball and hits it onto the 8 could go in off the red. There's a possibility that could happen. It's still a deep pocket, but Tam's on the yellow, so he needs to be careful how he plays this. And in fact, I think he'd do well to steer well clear of it. The only other thing about it is that red is exposed at the bottom of the table there. You can get to that red ball, so Tam needs to be careful that he doesn't leave the cue ball down anywhere near this section here, because Zangetsu can certainly pot the red and nudge open that set of balls there. So Zangetsu didn't get to the bottom rail, I don't think, or has he? I think he has. He's got there, and he can also move the 8 ball now and open up the pocket. Oh dear, well, that's run straight off the ball, past the 8 ball into the pocket. So again, with ball in hand in the kitchen, Tam's got 2 shots, and he can't play the yellow ball that's in bulk, as they call it in this table. He can't play that yellow ball, I believe. But he can certainly get the other ones. He wants to move that yellow ball that's near the 8 ball because he can't obviously pot that yellow ball. Good evening to Hazard. Oh, he can. Can he play that as his first free shot in the kitchen, Larry? That just shows you how often I've played this game. So the free shot, he can do that. You can play any ball on the table. Well, he's got rid of the yellow ball that was blocking the path to the 8 ball. And, well, he's got loads of room, but he doesn't want to run down this left rail here off this yellow. And that's a poor one. And he's struggling. The internet's down. But you on your phone? Well, you must be on your phone. That's a kind of daft question. Well, it's not looking good for Tam. He had a gilt edge opportunity there. He should have been running that rack. That's what you've got to be doing with opportunities like that. It's going to be a tall order to get anything more in this match, I think. Well, I'm sure Tam's glad it's to 13 games as far as it still gives him a chance to find his way back in it. But anyway, it's 9-1. And straight away, when you come to the table, well, that's BT. And he's gone again. Open-reach is just another wing, another branch of British Telecom. Yeah, I watched that last night. Mark Williams was unlucky with that last shot he had to play. Stephen Henry called it right. Mark Williams wanted to play the shot so that he could get rid of the ball he was hitting, but didn't want to hit it the wrong way, because if he did, he was going to scratch in the middle pocket. And that's why he missed it. He missed it so badly. He was too scared to stun that ball anymore. Was it the referee that shit himself? I knew something must have happened. I never heard it. I think I was channel surfing or something at the time. He must have had a big tin of beans for his lunch. Or was it Ronnie? Was it the referee or was it Ronnie? Better out than in. And once again, this is a game where you have to think your way around. It's like any other, it doesn't demand any more of you than any other type of game. You've got to plot your route out. But the problem that a lot of players are going to find is that the cue ball reaction and everything's different from what they're used to. And Tam's getting into that with a big draw, and again you're leaving yourself open to disaster playing things like that. And now I don't think he's got a shot. Well, he's trying to block the pocket with his yellow. A quick look, I think Zangetsu had a quick look. The 8 ball's wide open, so it wasn't a great shot with Tam. But I would have thought he would have been. I mean, it only took me a couple of racks to find my feet. Yesterday I was in a room with a couple of the guys. I think the first 2 racks I never got a shot. And then I think I managed to run. I certainly ran one. I can't remember who ran the other one, but I mean, it just takes you a wee while to get the pace off the shot. I was over hitting things, but I'm afraid Tam hasn't really put enough time in to make this competitive. That's just caught the point there, or caught the curve of the pocket. And now Tam, all he needs to do is just drop that in and come up high enough. You see, even that, he's got himself on the rail. And this is dangerous because if he goes forward, he can brush off that yellow and scratch. Or almost hook himself. But he's okay. Now let's look at the yellow. Well, he has to get right down on this yellow because that's tight to go in there. And if that catches any of that 8 ball, it might not go in. It might bounce off that and catch that knuckle. This is not a dead-on gimme, and that's how tight the pockets are. And the only saving grace there is, again, he's left that yellow block in the pocket. Well, Zangetsu is trying to draw into the 8 to free it up, and that's now cleared the pocket. And he's on the 8 ball. That was a good shot. As long as you hit your own ball first. And if you pot your opponent's ball, it's still a legal shot. The ball's flying in all over the place, so it's now still an open table until the player at the table makes his choice. Four balls in the break. Good evening to Semi-Pro. Tornado Tam's finding it tough in this table. He hasn't got the touch. You need to adapt very quickly. And Zangetsu has presumably plotted his way that he's going to go here. That yellow into the side is tight, but up the rail it should be fine. So he needs to stay bottom side of that, unless he's going to try and just drop it into the side pocket. I mean, it is tightish. You've got to be good on it like that to be able to play it right now. Always went for the cut. Well, the only danger with that was almost scratching in the opposite pocket, the line that the cue ball took there. And now, once again, Tam might have a chance here because Zangetsu has got no real shot. He might try a reverse bank on this yellow ball. Well, Stubbs, you think about it, how Stubbs going to adapt to this game because he's so used to banging a ball in, and you'd need to have a much more delicate approach to this table. If you don't give it that respect, you're going to end up looking a bit like Tam is at the moment. Again, he's going for the big heave-ho draw and letting that cue ball run. You need a defter touch and a gentler way of getting onto the next ball. And it's also about learning to control the spin off these rails as well. Again, you know, he's all over the place. Look at where the cue ball's gone. I mean, this is where you have to get a deft touch of the stun draw shot, because you're putting far too much juice into the shots. And again, overcutting the red. So Tam's had a lot of chances to win racks, but you've got to really start stringing balls together. You've got to combine that with the touch and adapting to the table and the conditions and the setup and everything else, but you can't do that generally with just 5-minute practice. Well, that I can tell you that when VP4 first came out, that ball would never have dropped. That ball that you saw dropping into the pocket there, it would never have gone in. So that these pockets are actually a lot easier than what they used to be. Well, we won't be long until this is done. And in goes the 8. And Tam now with the break. Zangetsu 11 racks to 1 up. Now, immediately you've broke the balls with this game, you again have to look at where you're going to start, because it's an open table and you have to look at your choices. And if you choose the yellows, there's one problem yellow ball to get on. If you choose the reds, there's more than one problem ball that you've got to get on. So straight away Tam's in trouble here unless he can see that red past the yellow. Now he can, but again he's not picking the line, he's way off the mark. I think he's playing with a normal snooker cue here, which it does as the default cue, or what they call the pub cue, but it's still a snooker cue. So again, Tam's not used to that, he's used to something with a bigger tip on it. So his problem then is trying to find the point on the cue ball where he's not putting unintentional spin on it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff you have to adapt to. Well, I think Tam could have cut that red into the side there and tried to nudge that other red out, the one that's the problem one, but he's managed to do it another way. Now, what about this one in the bottom rail? Well, it doesn't go. And well, this is going to be another disaster if he tries to nudge these out. He's a bit straight and he could end up hooked. So he's going the other way. He's leaving that there as a blocker, a partial blocker. Although, let's have a quick look. Well, that one goes, but I don't think you can get to it, that yellow. Now, the other question is if the 8 ball goes. The 8 ball does go at the moment. And Zangetsu's looking at squeezing that yellow in front of the red. At least I thought he was a minute ago there. This is the default colour for this table, I think, isn't it? It must be, because I never adjusted anything. Now you see that pace there allows the ball to go into the depth of the pocket and eventually drop, but you know, it would never have done that at the beginning of Virtual Pool 4. That's a nice shot. Well, Tam's at the moment got that red ball in front of the pocket, It might not be there much longer. Zangetsu's going to try and just nudge that yellow past and then leave the cut. But then, of course, he's got to try and find a way to get on this 8-ball. Cue ball wants to run up the table. I think he's trying to run into it. He's run into the 8. And now he's got a squeeze up past the red to take him to 1 away. Oh, that's a good one. Well, the thing is, we've yet to make our mind up about Stubb. Yeah, I've never seen him before either. Goodness knows where he showed up from. Well, we know he's got a South African flag, but I've never seen him playing anything else. In fact, I've never seen him playing at all until just now. But he's certainly well suited to this table. He could be just a one-trick pony, though. He just plays this game and nothing else. Yeah, I am probably at work. I never see him. Well, I'm sure if we all played it for hours, we'd get better at it. Well, Tam has to get a bit wiser with the safety here, I think. I think it's a bit late in the day for it, but I don't think he's employed much in the way of safety tactics. Well, this looks like the possibility, the beginning and the end. The only lifesaver is that red ball on the side rail on the right side. And the fact that the pocket's blocked. And Tam's prospects are not good either, considering Zangetsu just blocked that other corner pocket. Tam tried to open it up there, I think. But he's got a yellow ball stuck in the rail, which is no good. And the biggest mistake he'll make here is opening that pocket. Yeah. I don't think that was a wise move. Opening up the pocket up the top there, because that just sold himself. Well, this is where he now regrets opening up that pocket, because that's opened up that only problem red on the right rail for Zangetsu to get to run out for the match. Well, if he hadn't potted that ball over that top corner pocket, he could have left things a bit more awkward, because it wasn't easy to roll a ball down the rail onto that blocking ball and pot it. So if he'd left it there, he'd have left Zangetsu a problem to deal with. At the moment, all he's done is he's left a wide open table, and it's game over. You know, he can pot the awkward one down the rail at the moment without fear of any damage, because Tam can't get to that yellow to pot it, so he should actually pot that awkward one if he wants. Right, I'm talking about taking this one first and then finding a better way to go onto the red on the side. But anyway, whatever way he does it, as long as he gets it done. Now, again, these object balls are stuck in a pocket, so it's making it a lot more difficult just to judge where the cue ball's going when it comes out. Yeah, he's left himself in trouble there. Always difficult to judge how to play the shot to get that cue ball out under control. Now, Zangetsu doesn't want to finish the cue ball on the top side of the table if he's playing with any common sense. He wants to finish bottom side here to make sure that if he misses, that he doesn't leave Tam a shot in the yellow. That's a clever little bank. And Tam's right under it. And again, touch like a sledgehammer. At least he's got it into a more portable position, but has he? I think he's actually got away with it. Or can Zangetsu just... I don't think he can catch much of that one that's over the pocket. Now, if this just slows up, now this just needs a feathered light touch, just to drop it in and leave the cue ball where the yellow is. As light as a feather. That will do. Well, he's got another one on the board, but it looks very much like it's only delaying the inevitable. Now straight away here, the yellows are the balls to go for. Mainly because there's no obstructions in the way, and neither is the reds for that matter of fact, but it's the fact that the three yellows at the bottom here make it easy to get on that 8 ball. And I mean, you can still get on the 8 ball from those two up table, but it's not going to be as easy. It might have been better to leave one of these balls down here to make it easier to get on the 8. We'll see if he regrets doing that, because now the cue ball's got to run, and it's got to run in the gap on the left hand side. He's run into the red. And I don't know whether he can see enough of that. Yeah, I think you've got to be a wee bit more streetwise in how you're going to run the table, even though the balls are all there. And now he's underhitting it and not got to a rail. Well, that's a disaster. That's game over. All the balls wide open. 2 shots for Zangetsu, or a free shot if you want to call it that. And every ball is on. So the mistake Tam made there was not doing what I said. That's what I would have done. I would have left those balls down the bottom right hand corner to be dealt with to finish the rack rather than to start the rack, because you had to move up table to get onto those 2 balls which were in a line, and he just made it more difficult for himself. Well, there wasn't in the schedule earlier on, and the next match is tomorrow night. We'll have another look at the bracket when this is done, which it will be in a second or two. But well, going by Zangetsu's rating, he doesn't play this game that much. But then again, he probably doesn't get to play an awful lot of games with competitive games, unless he's just practicing now and again online. But anyway, he's been way too good for Tornado Tam. but he's got a much, a much gentler touch. So he's well used to this table. He's well used to the pace of shots. So comfortable win for Zangetsu from South Africa. Right, now let me do a quick refresh here. Well, we can see we've got Albinario against Simanx. These are all round one matches. Mal is set up against Braidwell out. Spudboy against Bankster. MC Clarkey against Dirties or Doctor whatever. Snake Eyes against Hazard. Sylvia against Christian. Larry to play John Boot. Potman to play Legit Matthew. Cobra against Wanwa. DJ Simon against what's that? Tommy. And LS3 against Semi Pro tomorrow night. What day is this? No, Saturday night at 7 PM. Cheeky Chico against Quagmire on Sunday at 8 PM. And the match that we've just seen, or well, a fair chunk of it that we've just seen, Zangetsu goes through to round 2, where he will play the winner of the match between Stubb, Real Poland Power and Ice Age. And then Mark Sharp playing Charlie Bravo. Glenn O'Brien against Little Will. So that's the matches. That's all the ones that are scheduled. Just the 2, one for the Saturday and one for the Sunday. More might appear, but not many more might appear tonight because it's already getting to, what, 7 o'clock. So anyway, that was a short and sweet one. 6,000 games. That's a lot. That's 6,000 more than I've played in Black Ball, I'll tell you that. Anyway, that is it, folks. It was short and sweet, so thanks for those that joined us. But I'm sure we'll be back for many more of these. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.